Thought I'd do a video today on some 7.5 by 54 French military surplus ammunition that I have. You may have seen this ammunition in another video I did about this particular rifle right here. But today I want to talk about the ammunition. And I'd been wanting to talk about the ammunition, and then I went shooting the other day, tried to shoot some of this stuff, did not fire. Primers were struck well, primers did not go off. So I thought, and I'd been thinking about doing a video about this ammunition and military surplus ammunition in general, because there's some things to look out for and just to be aware of. And first off, bring up the ammunition so you can see what it looks like. This is 7.5 by 54 French. Ooh, let's try to get it in the light. See if we can get to focus. Focus. It'll kind of, sort of. But this stuff was manufactured in 1939 by the French Association of Munitions, the Société Française Munitions. I can't pronounce it very well because I don't speak French. I speak a little German, not any French. But it's produced in 1939. It is corrosive, but you don't really have to worry about that much because I don't think I've gotten any of these rounds to fire ever. I may have gotten one to fire out of the probably 10 I've tried to fire. Well constructed bullets. You can see it has this big dip right here, this chamfer around the primer, or not chamfer, this ring, and that's try to get a good shot of that, to catch the bullet if it were in a tubular magazine, which, I don't know about you, but for me, I would never put a pointed bullet like this into a tubular magazine. I guess if it had some sort of a polymer tip, something like that, but I'd really prefer to just have a round bullet in a tubular magazine. But, that's what that little ring is for. If it were in a tubular magazine, pointed bullet goes in there. I wouldn't trust that. If you watch Tauf Ledermaus, you may have seen a video where he has some pointed bullets go off inside of a plexiglass tube, and it's pretty devastating. Anyway, what happened yesterday when I went shooting, and the other videos where I attempted to fire this, chambered around, pulled the trigger, and just hear a click, which is one of the worst sounds you can really hear when you're shooting. Other than, like, I guess kaboom, like it's blown up in your face. But I think you're concerned more about the fact your face has now been blown to pieces, maybe, than the sound of the kaboom. But that is caused by bad primers. Generally, it's caused by bad primers. And the powder, because here's some of the powder out of this. It's a square flake powder. It's actually pretty good powder. Burns. I'm not going to burn that on camera because we're indoors and that would be unsafe, and some people wouldn't appreciate that. But something else to look at with any surplus ammunition, if you look at this side of these casings, they look pretty good. Don't look bad. Looks nice. If you look at this, oh, that is corrosion. Bad corrosion. Now, the rounds I tried to fire the other day, I looked at before I tried to fire them to make sure they didn't have any of this fine patina that you really don't want to find on your ammunition. And this could be a result of poor storage or poor brass. This could be stored in a relatively dry environment with decent humidity that many types of ammunition might be able to survive well in. But maybe the metallurgy of this particular ammunition, it was more conducive to corrosion. It's just possible. Or it just was stored badly. I would say either one. I've read a lot about this particular ammunition online, not wanting to fire. I think other numbers I've heard were 6 out of 10 didn't fire, or 7 out of 10. Either way, I would be very leery about any surplus 7.5 by 54 French, because it's going to be old. It's got to be old. Once they adopted the 7.62 by 51 NATO, they stopped using it, and nobody else really uses it. So if you find real surplus of it, it's going to be old. I would almost just recommend to do what I've done here, which is pull the bullet, toss the case, keep the bullet, and buy some PPU brass and put the bullet into that. So anyway, hopefully you found that informative or at least entertaining. Thanks. Like, subscribe, whatever. That's just a silhouette. That's all that's out there is a silhouette. Oh yeah, it's down there on the ground. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to fire some old surplus 7.5 by 54 French. I don't think it'll probably fire. Long trigger pull. Oh, and it didn't fire. Maybe not. Okay, the first one didn't fire. Let's try another one. Also didn't fire.